Okay, let's go.
Okay.
So we know what FizzBuzz is. We don't need to talk about it.
No. Do you want to do sort of like a ping pong style or?
No, let's do strong style.
Okay.
So I'll drive first.
Okay.
What should my first test be?
I think our first test, didn't quite get, there we go. I think our first test should be that one returns the string one. How about?
Okay, so we need a method to do that. I guess we could just do it inside this class for now.
Yeah.
Move it out. So number one is equal to string one. Okay. So we, oh, it really doesn't want to give me any.
Doesn't want to auto generate stuff for you.
Nope.
That's unfortunate.
Let's call it input for now. We can figure out a better name later. I'm just going to do that to start so we can see. Do you want to run on the console and watch?
Yes. Why is that not working? There we go. One of those, maybe? I think you can access the console too, but
probably, but sometimes it gets wonky on my side. Yeah. Okay, so it fails as we expect. And I guess I maybe prematurely, without your authorization, have made it pass.
That's okay. That's what I was going to tell you to do.
Okay. Do you want to write a second test?
Yeah, let's write a second test.
Okay. I'll navigate for a little bit.
Okay.
So let's do 2. I think that's probably a good place.
Void the 2 test. How about?
All right. So this is what I've heard referred to as the ZOM method, essentially, of test-driven development, where you do 0, 1, and many. So we're starting small and getting bigger.
Right.
So with that, we need to generalize it. And we could fake it, but let's just go ahead and do input to string.
I think that's good. I think that's not too big of a leap.
Okay.
For test pass. I'm gonna go rogue for a minute. There we go.
Clean up the dirty setup.
Oh, my syntax highlighting is not working quite right. Oh well. I blame .NET 6.
I have feelings about setup in general that maybe we could explore later, but
okay, we'll have to do that.
Okay, you're navigating.
Okay, I propose that we do a refactor for test case.
Okay.
Is that too early?
I mean,
in general, I would say that 2 instances is too early, but I know that we're going to have more tests that look just like this.
That is fair. And given that I was probably just going to copy this test, I mean, we know where it's going.
Yeah.
Right. Because I mean, what I'd probably do is just this.
Yeah, let's write the test and then we can refactor. How about that?
So the next thing we need to know is fizz, right? We've generalized the case where it doesn't change the number, just regurgitates the number. Okay. Okay, so that fails. I guess we could get it to pass.
Yeah, let's make it pass, and then let's refactor a test. How about?
Oh,
That's probably not what we wanted.
So funny enough, right? I always have relied on my tools to move this down, even now.
Yeah, I still do that too.
Because I started my career in Java, where Java likes it at the end. And so I just developed that habit. But Visual Studio Code isn't moving it for me, so I'll move it. Okay. So you were suggesting we refactor this to a test case?
Yes, I think that would be a good plan.
So for me personally, when I'm doing this, I like to create the test case as a separate test.
Yeah, that's what I usually do too. Like I'll do the test case and have it duplicate one of the tests to make sure that it passes.
Yes. So if we do that, let's call it test translate. And it's going to take an input and expected.
Yeah, that's a good name.
I know that there's a way to have the expected be automatic somehow. I can't remember.
Oh, I don't know about that one.
I looked at it once, but then I was like, that seems less
good.
Well, just more magical than I was willing to put up with at the time. Okay. So that gives us a 1, which this is duplicating. And then we can, wow, Control D doesn't even work.
No, if you do a Alt Shift down arrow, that duplicates down. I wish Control D.
Shift down arrow.
Yeah.
No, it duplicated my cursor.
Oh, is that not what it is?
So I now have 4 cursors.
Oh.
I don't know. I obviously don't work day to day, and
oh yeah, huh? Mine is Alt Shift.
in Visual Studio Code. So I'm figuring it out. That's fun. Okay. It's good to rely on your tools. It's good to know your tools. It's also good to learn new tools. So that's what I'm doing today. Okay. That looks like the refactoring that you requested.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to hand the keyboard back to you.
Okay.
So at this point, I'll often debate whether or not, like 4 doesn't seem like it's useful. I mean, it could be useful for completeness sake. 5 is Buzz, which is good.
Yeah. I always tell people if like when I'm doing a presentation on TD or whatever, that if you're not confident that a test will pass, you can add it just to make sure. And then if you find value in it, you can leave it. And if not, then you can just be like, oh yeah, that did pass. That's what I thought. I'll delete the test. So we could do that with 4, but I think 4 will do the thing that we want to do.
I'm pretty confident that 4 would pass. So the big decision is between 5 and 6. 5 being Buzz and 6 being generalizing Fizz.
Right.
I'll anchor you by saying my opinion, and then I'll invite you to share yours.
Okay, I already know what my opinion is, so your anchoring will be relatively ineffective, probably. I don't know. Depends on how persuasive you are, I guess.
Well, I like doing 6 next because in general, I like going deep on a feature to make it more real. Like, again, that kind of is a next step in making the code more complete and correct, as opposed to 5, which, only works up to 5. And whereas 6 allows it to work for all Fizz, right? Or at least encourage us to make a change that would work for all Fizz.
Yeah, that's what I usually prefer too. So like in this case, I would prefer to do 6 to make the 3 case more generalized before adding the 5 case.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that. I'm gonna go ahead and add 6.
I can do that.
Okay, so then we can change 18 to be mod 3 equals 0. Again, we could add faking 6, but again, the implementation here is almost so blindly obvious that we probably didn't even need the first fake it, but
yeah, I have
good to practice the discipline.
Yeah, I have seen people go straight to this step before, which is arguably, I mean, one could argue that it's too large of a step, but I guess if you're okay with it, then.
I don't know. Like for me, like going from 3 and 6 is demonstrating that sometimes we get examples from, we get examples of what it is that we want, and we don't necessarily always get the fully fleshed out rules. In this case, like we do know that all multiples of 3 should be fizz, but that doesn't mean that we will always know that. And so practicing this is useful.
I agree.
Right, because at the case where you're like, oh, 3 and 6 are both fizz, that's an opportunity to ask,
hey, is there something about multiples of 3?
Right.
Yeah.
Is this a pattern that should continue, or is it just really just 3 and 6? So
right.
In this case, we know, so we can leave it. Okay.
Let's see. I'll let you drive now.
Take the keyboard, and I don't know how to duplicate other than copy paste. So
apparently your key bindings are different than mine somehow. I don't know, but oh well.
Yeah.
We can figure that out another time.
Problem for another day.
Yeah.
Okay, we can see that the test fails again. Tests that fails or tests that we can see fail are good.
Yes.
Especially if we expect them to fail.
I don't know if your keyboard bindings will work the same as mine, but for me, Alt-Shift-F reformats the whole document.
Well, should I try it?
What's the worst that could happen? We could, have to start over, right? We'll just delete all of our source code.
I have an extension configured to the formatter, but it's not available. Select a different default formatter to continue. So it might be live share.
Yeah, it sounds like a live share thing.
Happy.
Maybe we'll have to experiment with that another day.
It's the fun of trying out live share.
Yep.
Okay. I'll give you the keyboard back. We can add 10, I think. Seems like the next
great
logical place to go.
And our test failed. Would you like me to generalize this one?
Yeah, that would be good. See the same pattern again.
Okay. Do you want to add 15?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, again, if we're, test driving, this is an opportunity to refactor and refactoring ahead of a change that we want to make as opposed to just bulldozing ahead. Because we could follow the same pattern with 15, right? We could just do if input 15.
Yeah,
and
we could follow the same
generalize
pattern.
it, even though they're really even though it really is a combination of the two rules, we could also kind of define it as its own third rule,
right?
Based on how we've implemented thus far. So it's whether or not we want to look at changing our implementation to better fit kind of this new rule or just kind of go ahead?
Right. With only doing 3 and 5, I kind of like having the divisible by 3, divisible by 5, and divisible by 15 explicitly, just because it makes it very easy to read. But if we were going to go farther, then I would say that's probably not a good pattern. Like if we're going to do 3 and 5 and 7 and whatever else,
Yeah.
then that doesn't scale.
Okay.
very well.
So given that, why don't we start with 15, get it working, and then discuss the plus plus scenario, the
Okay.
and beyond. Okay, so that should fail.
Good.
And I mean, we could just, again, jump ahead.
Yeah, sure.
We've established this as a, yeah, well-worn pattern here.
Yes. If we're doing this as a workshop or something, we might
Okay.
do both steps, but we can probably skip that for now.
Okay, so that works.
Yep. So like I said, if we're just doing strict FizzBuzz where it's 3 and 5, I
Yeah.
kind of like this one because then the two actual rules and then the third, I don't know, pseudo rule, if you want to call it that, is those three cases are nice and explicit, but that's only with the two main rules.
Right.
And if you start adding rules, it gets combinatorially larger, which doesn't work super well. Should we like add 7 maybe? Just to as a like FizzBuzzPlus kind of a thing, force ourselves to refactor here.
Yeah. Well, so we could either do, so I think maybe it would be good to refactor in anticipation of 7.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, sure.
Or we could do 7 just to demonstrate how insane it starts to get.
We could do that. I mean, I guess what would that be? We'd have the 7 case. We'd have the 7 case and the 3 and 7 case and the 5 and 7 case and the 3 and 5 and 7 case.
Yes.
That would be 4. So we'd more than double the amount of code we have.
Correct.
I'm okay doing refactor first, so we don't do that.
I concur. Okay, so we're gonna do 7. Do you have a preferred sound for 7?
I have it written down somewhere. I think I used Baz or something. I don't know. I could go look.
I've used Pop in the past.
Oh, we can do Pop.
Baz is also good. Okay, it's not super important. Let's do the refactoring first, then we can discuss what we want 7 to be.
Okay.
Okay, so doing this incrementally can be a little bit tricky. Do you have an incremental approach that you'd like to take?
I don't know. On things like this, I kind of just sort of do like a parallel implementation and then comment out my original implementation. I don't know. I don't have a super great incremental way to do this.
Okay, so I have some ideas if you want to try them.
Sure.
So I'll navigate.
Okay.
So first thing I'm thinking is we need to have an output variable at the top of it.
All right. Do you want to initialize it to something?
Just the empty string.
Okay.
And then at the end, on line 33, after line 33, we want to wrap that return statement in if the output is still empty, then return that. Otherwise, return output.
You just want to.
We just return output, yeah. Okay, let's see. Did that? That's fine because we should never return output.
Right. Yes.
Okay, so if we instead change 28 to be output plus equals fizz, is that still pass?
Does still pass. Good.
We can do that with 5 as well. Okay, and I am feeling like we can delete 22 to 25 then.
I think so. I'm going to comment it out for a second. But I'm not sure if I can take the code out or not. Sometimes I'll do that. And so yeah,
okay.
Let's get rid of that.
Speaking of which, we forgot to do a Git repo.
Oh yeah, we did.
Okay, well, next time.
Yeah.
Okay, the other thing I might do is on 32, do output plus equals, just so that it all looks the same.
On here. Do that.
Okay. Okay, so now we could add the test case.
Okay.
So I guess before we do that, like, how are you feeling about this implementation?
I like this. Okay. This will be much easier to add 7 here than how we were doing it before. This was more incremental than I probably would have done, which is good. I like that. Yeah, I think it's good.
Okay. So why don't you? I'll drive for a little bit then.
Oh, okay, yeah. Go ahead and add 7. You can put it in whatever order you want. Sometimes I go back and put things in like numerical order, but
yeah, I don't know. Like
for this one, it doesn't make as much sense. But like for Roman numerals or something,
yeah,
done that.
Depends on whether you want to group it by output or input.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do Baz, is what you said?
Sure. I was gonna suggest pop because I like that one.
Oh, we can do pop. That's easy. Okay, so we'll do pop. And then how should we implement it?
I think we should just duplicate. Well, do you want to do the general case first or the specific case first at this point?
I think we could just do the general case. I mean, we could do the specific case, I guess, but even the, I don't know. I feel like we're there.
Okay, well, let's basically copy lines 27 through 30, but change it to 7 mod 7 and plus equals pop.
So
yeah,
okay.
And then I guess I'm going to drive and you're going to navigate. I was wondering if we wanted to add, like the way we've implemented it here, I think multiples of 3 and 7 or 5 and 7 or 3 and 5 and 7 should work, but it's worth adding some just to prove to ourselves that it really does work.
Yeah, I think it's also good as documentation of the feature because it's more clear to those who come afterwards.
Yeah.
So one of the things I'll do is just do
That's an interesting thought.
calculated here. The benefit I see, I mean, some people I think have argued that it's like, well, you're duplicating the implementation, which is kind of true, but kind of not in this
Yeah.
particular case.
Yeah, in this
Like I could
case,
see in certain cases where like calculating the thing and then having your thing calculate the thing, but here we're kind of going backwards and forwards.
yeah.
Plus, I think that it's a little more clear what it is you're why like 21 becomes a magic number.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I like having multiplication there,
okay, so if we do that,
especially because I don't know what 3 times 5 times 7 is off the top of my head.
I believe it's 135.
That sounds
Having
believable.
done this enough times, but I don't know. That's right. Okay. So we could be done, right? This is fine. As you kind of alluded to, we could keep going, like saying, hey, additional prime numbers, what would your word be? Going 11 and 13 and 17.
Yeah, I have done that going up to 30 something before, 37 or something.
I think what might be more interesting is what do we do? What could we do to refactor, translate to support that as opposed to actually doing it? Like we've kind of done something here, right? We still have a lot of duplication though.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that would be for our last few minutes. I think that would be a more interesting use of our time. It's refactoring translate.
Okay. So what ideas do you have?
Well, 26 through 29 looks a lot like 30 through 33, which looks a lot like 34 through 37. Maybe looks like this one, but you know, this is kind of a different. I wouldn't start by including this in our in our removal of duplication from these. With these, I would like my initial inclination would be to do some sort of a map or something.
So one technique that I learned, I guess not directly, but from Kent Beck, is this idea of to remove duplication, make it exactly the same. Make the two things that are close exactly the same, and then you're able to clearly delete one of them, I guess, basically. Okay. So if you're okay, I'll navigate for a little bit.
Sure.
So if we take like input mod 3 equals 0, right? That's a predicate essentially for the if statement. So if we can extract that as a predicate, like,
did I do the right thing? Oh, that's not going to do the right thing. Sorry. Or did you want it as a computed thing like this, or as an actual like predicate?
No, like as a function.
Oh, do I have to? Using system. Oh, great. Oh, of t takes an int.
Does it need to be int bool?
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, predicate should
always return a.
I don't know, you could just do it as a function as well.
Okay. As a func.
Yeah, func. Sorry.
Int to bool. Is that the order that it goes in?
It's the other way.
The other way.
Is it the return values first, or what is it?
It says in and out. Oh wait, no. T and T result.
Oh, okay. Then why is it complaining?
Why is it grumpy about that? Type bool to.
Cannot implicitly convert type bool to, oh, you need to have input. So you have to have input goes to.
Oh, right. Oops.
There we go.
Right.
Okay. So V of input is what you'd put on 28.
Right. Okay. Confusing having this input and this input.
Yeah. Should we want to change the one in the func to just X?
Yeah. Well, probably be less confusing. Maybe V is the name it picked. I don't know. Is there a better name than that?
Probably anything else other than V. That being said, I don't have a clear name.
I mean, I would say func or predicate or.
Yeah, we call it predicate. I think that seems good.
Okay. Oh, we can leave it. That's better than V. I agree.
Yes. Okay, and then the other thing I would do is take line 30. So we're always adding the output, grab fizz and make it a variable, which is.
I'm just gonna do it. What do you want to call this part?
Sound?
Oh, sound. Yeah, sure. Whoops, except I'm going to spell fizz correctly.
At least for right now, that. Utterance, maybe, since we're going to do numbers later. Okay, so if we do that, then we could. Now we could set predicate and utterance after 32.
Right.
To
mod 5 equals 0.
And we could replace those.
So I was just making sure that my
Input.
tests were still passing.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And then we can do the same thing with pop.
Seven. Now this part, and this part are all exactly the same.
Correct. And we could even do it with that last one.
Yeah, could do it with that last one.
Well, so
right.
The difference, right, is that we're sending output into our predicate as opposed to input, but that's where it gets a little bit wonky.
Yeah.
So
I would say maybe skip this one for now.
Okay.
But you're the navigator, so you can tell me otherwise.
Yeah, that's fine. We can do that.
Okay.
Okay, so now we have a series of predicates and a series of utterances. So we could do like a list of tuples.
Yeah.
Of func and bool and utterance.
Yeah.
Does that seem like a reasonable way to do it? Like
that would be my first inclination, at least anyway.
Okay, let's do that.
Do
So
you want it to be like, do you want to declare it outside of here? Or do you want to declare it inside translate?
let's just do it inside of translate for now. Like,
Okay.
nobody else needs to know.
What do you want to call this?
Utterances or applesauce? It's good.
This will be
My wife did just make apple butter yesterday with some
Ooh.
apples that we got.
One of those.
Okay.
Goes to X. Maybe I should just
Well, once you have the first one, you can copy down.
okay, I syntaxed that right, at least anyway. This, we decided this one was pop, huh?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay, so should at least be able to replace now 34 with predicate equals utterances dot item one. Is that? Oh no.
Oh, do you want
the first one? We need the first is so sub-zero dot item
Item one.
one.
we could name those if we wanted to, but
I think we do, but let's get to see if this makes sure that works.
okay.
And then the same thing for utterance.
Oops, sorry. There we go.
Okay.
Ooh, I just thought of something.
What do you got?
An opportunity to use a deconstructor.
Ooh.
I don't know that I've ever actually done this in real code before.
But yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it's for right there. And then we don't have to name it. You probably need to delete the other two. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. Look at us
Yay.
using modern C#.
I know. It's like we're living in the future.
Okay, so we can delete that.
Okay. Do you want to replace these others with utterances sub 1 and sub 2, or do you want to go full on like?
I think we can wrap that in a. So can we deconstruct in for each?
I think so. What do you mean, like inside the body of a for each?
Not the body, but like in the, like.
Oh, can we deconstruct
directly into two variables?
Ooh.
Let's just try. Let's do the first thing. Let's do the incremental thing that we know will work. So if we just do a for each on utterances.
What should we call this? I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you have a better name?
The item is fine for right now. We'll figure it out. Or we could do applesauce if we want to make sure we.
And then we basically want this inside there, right?
Correct. And then instead of utterances, it's 36. It's item.
And this will go crammy, nice and because.
Yeah, because we're declaring predicate multiple times.
Yeah.
Well, you have to delete all the way down, right?
Yeah. If we do that, did it right, then we should skip that. Okay. Get rid of this part.
Yeah.
So now we're,
Right. So my question is, can we merge line 36 into line 34?
ooh, that is a good question that I don't know the answer to. I'm guessing if we can do it, it would be something like that. I don't think it likes that.
I don't know. You probably need to comment on 36 because the item doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And then, no, it doesn't seem to be happy.
No.
Did we get rid of var?
Ooh.
Did that work?
How that appears to work.
Tricksy, tricksy. Okay.
It's very tricksy.
Huh. Indeed. Once again, I don't know. I mean, having done this before, I don't know if this is necessarily better.
Yeah.
But it is more fun.
It is more fun. Yeah. If I came back and looked at this tomorrow, well, I mean, tomorrow I'd remember, but 3 weeks from now, me might come and look at this and be like, what the heck?
Yeah, that's just largely a matter of acclimation, right? I mean,
yeah. Like I said, I don't do deconstructors all the time. This is probably the first time I've actually used one in something remotely resembling real code.
Yeah, I mean, me from what 10, 15 years ago would not know what to make of 28 to 33.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's an interesting use of the functional style programming constructs that are available to us in C#.
Yeah, it is.
The question is, can we turn 34? I mean, the last thing would be if we could turn 34 into a link expression as opposed to
a for each.
For each.
How smart.
I mean, other than like the for each.
Right.
Yeah.
I was gonna see if
aggregate.
Yeah. I was gonna see if VS Code would offer to turn it into link for me, like writer or resharper, but it does not.
Yeah.
Or at least not in this case.
I feel like it would aggregate.
Yeah. I always have to stop and think about aggregate for a while. I think it would.
Like we'd probably have to, I don't know if the deconstructor would work. Like we'd have to push the deconstruction back into the body.
Yeah, I think so.
But we would be aggregating over output, right? Output would be so the current would be the items in utterances, and then the aggregator would be output.
Right. Should we see if we can do it? Or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's try it. Why not?
Okay. So we're going to go utterances dot. Where's aggregate?
And you have link.
Oh, I probably don't. I thought I already did. And then so we start with output. All right. Is that which order it goes in?
Yeah.
And then do you want to put do we have to put a body on this? We probably will, right?
Yeah, we'll probably, because we need, unless it'll deconstruct it, and we'll need to deconstruct X into predicate and utterance.
Right. Let's start with that.
Yeah, because we are more confident that will work.
Yeah. And just take this for now.
Yeah. I think we have our accumulate.
Does it need to return? Oh, does it just return this? Is that how that works?
We want to return. We'll need to return output at the end.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so we need.
Oh, delegate. Oh, I put input there. Oh, no, that's right.
Let's see. What is the?
It's clearly not a delegate type. We have something off there. String.
Oh, the function needs to take two parameters.
Oh, it takes
It takes
current.
the aggregator and the current. So the first one would be
Is the first one is the item?
No, the second one is the item. The second one is the
okay.
item being.
You just want to call this like current and something like that?
Sure. At which point that's output, right?
This one?
Inside there. Well, yeah.
And then we want to do, instead of output, we want, because we're getting double.
That needs to be cur.
Yeah. And return cur?
Return cur.
Okay. And then theoretically, I could get rid of this. Oh, except we didn't actually do anything there. Forgot. Output equals?
Sure. There we go.
Okay.
Okay. Once again, I don't know if this is better.
Yeah.
If we could. So the question is, can we replace line 44? Can we put that deconstructor in place of X?
There. I don't know, but we can try.
We have the technology.
Like that?
Well, it does seem unhappy.
It does seem unhappy about that.
Okay, well, maybe C# 11.
Maybe so.
So like I don't know if I'm happy with all the naming, but I do like it. Like again, I think it's more explicit that we're aggregating.
Yeah. Yeah, if we're me and I were going to maintain this code for now, at least I'd probably leave it as a for each, but
I think it would help if like 47, we returned cur plus utterance as opposed to adding to it. Right, and then we could change 45 through 49 into a ternary.
Do it. Turn.
want the predicate
Wait.
first and then
Yeah. Sorry, I got that in the wrong order.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah.
That.
You know, at least for me, my tools usually do this, but
Yeah. Oh, I gotta get rid of that. Oh, sorry. I didn't finish getting rid of all my stuff there. There we go.
I think for me, that's one of the benefits of doing it this way, is that it's clearly a function there. There's no side effects inside the aggregate,
Right.
as opposed to the side effect on line 39 of incrementing output.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, well, I think we probably overspent our time on FizzBuzz.
Probably, but I think it was good to go and push a little bit past the standard 3 and 5 FizzBuzz, because I think we we got to a more interesting solution, at least anyway, and more generalized too.
Well, I think it's also good to push on some of the language features you're less familiar with when you're playing around, just because that's the only way that they're going to become comfortable.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you know, you and I started .NET in the .NET 1 era. So, I mean,
I'm glad we don't still live in that era.
Yes.
It's better. It's better now.
Yes. Yes. A land of funcs and lambda expressions and link expressions and all of those things just makes it a lot better. It's just making sure that everybody in your team is comfortable with it. So,
yep.
Okay.